Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. And welcome back to the grand finale of the BSTV GT4 TCR Challenge, Season 9, Round 12, brought to you from the extremely tricky Virginia International Raceway. I'm Clyde Whiting, and in the booth, as usual, the man that just keeps spending it like Beckham, it is Sir Alan Toon. Good evening.
Good evening, Clyde. Thank you very much for that warm greeting. And I'm really delighted to be here. I love this place. It's a really leery track and can catch people out. Doesn't matter how good you are, and expecting a good evening.
Well, there's somebody on the cameras that probably loves this track more than you. And it's a bit of a standing joke within the BSTV commentary team that Pete loves this track so much he's going to win every time he drives and always does rubbish. Welcome to our standing cameraman, Pete Bingham.
Good evening, Clyde. Good evening, Alan. Good evening, everybody at home.
Right, Alan. So, the grand finale of season 9. We will go through the points very, very shortly, but our main focus tonight is going to be on that TCR Drivers' Championship with Matt Elmore currently leading Sam Blease by 4 points. And the last time I looked at their practice times, there was something ridiculous like 6/100ths of a second between them. So, as per usual, I have a feeling this has happened every season. So all 9 seasons, something has gone all the way to the end. So it's going to be fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, crikey. I can hardly believe we've got to the end of the series already. It's astonishing the way the time's flown. We've had so many good race evenings, haven't we? It's just been fantastic week after week. But yeah, tonight, well, oh blimey. You said 600s. I mean, that's quite a gap for these guys.
Yeah, that must be at least the width of a front splitter.
But yeah, no, there's no way of calling the race. It's just, I'll be interested to see how it turns out. I'll be interested to see what the guys are thinking and how they're going to approach it. Delighted to see Carl at the front still, and for the 3rd week running, he's actually at the top of the timings at the moment.
He's not going to do 3 on the trot, is he?
Oh, crikey.
I think he's only at the top of the timings because nobody's set a time.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. Okay, so let's get the folks at home up to date on all of our little bits and pieces. So, Virginia International Raceway. It's allegedly got 18 turns, but we've got lots of turn 8, A, B, C, D, E, and all the rest of it. So, and some of those turns are not really turns, they're just little ginks, as is usually the way with American tracks. It is in Alton in Virginia, USA, nowhere near Alton Towers for anybody that is no good at geography. It is 3.27 miles long. Last time we raced here was back in season 6. Simon Trendle won the GT4 race in a McLaren. Stephen Walker won the TCR race in an Audi. Lap records are interesting. I had to double check this one. Lap records for GT4 set in season 6 by Spencer McCarthy in a Porsche. And I'm thinking Spencer doesn't drive GT4, but yeah, he did actually. And the TCR goes back to season 1. Chris Shaw in an Audi. So that's a long-standing record. So on to the important bit with this final round to go. Drivers' Championship for GT4. Simon Trendle leads the way, 6.76. Stephen Walker, 6.32. Stefan Goebel, 5.64. It's going to take an absolute disaster for Simon Trendle for that to change. But this is the important one. This is the interesting one. And this is one that we are probably unashamedly going to concentrate on quite a bit. TCR Drivers' Championship. Matt Elmore leads the way, 6.41. Sam Blease in second, 6.37. That's right, 4 points. and not entirely out of it, but he's got a lot of work to do. Carl Hardy in third on 599. Team Championship, that certainly isn't over. Spectre 6 TCR lead the way, 1,210. 4 points behind. Again, Team Chimera this time, 1,206. And in third place, Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black with 930. Driver of the season, which is the one that we get to vote on, could all change again tonight. Currently equal first with 9 votes, Matt Elmore and Stefan Goebel and Carl Hardy. That'll do, that's better. That's actually a lot better name than Hardy.
Yeah,
I call him Hardy from now on. He is third with 8 votes. Head to head. So again, final round. So this is what it comes down to. The third place playoff in TCR is between David Ayres and Russell Cowell. Third place playoff in GT4 is between Stefan Goebel and Jamie Wilson. Don't forget, whoever scores the most points out of those drivers takes third place. And then the finals. Who's going to come first? Who's going to come second? TCR, JB Dejoux against Matt Elmore. GT4, Simon Trendle versus Stephen Walker. Last time out, we was at the fantastic Fuji. We saw a dominant win by Stefan Goebel. Stephen Walker was second, Simon Trendle third in GT4. And in TCR, Carl Hardy got his second win on the trot. Shane Powell was second and Russell Cowell was third. So, guys, let's talk about this Matt Elmore, Sam Blease battle. Now, the way I see it, Matt Elmore has been Mr. Consistent this season. Probably scored big in all bar one race, and that was the race that he didn't make. Sam Blease has struggled a bit this season. And when we spoke to him about it, it's basically lack of practice. But when he has been to a track that he knows and he hasn't needed a lot of practice, he's had phenomenal pace again. So I'm going to put you guys on the spot. There's only 4 points in it. We know incident points come into this. We know how difficult VIR can be and how easy it is to get off tracks and disappear into the grass and not come back for 3 weeks. Pete, Sam, or Matt?
I am in the Matt camp. So the reason for my choice there is nobody races Virginia that much anymore. I love it. I've had some reasonable results. I've had some very embarrassing moments, which we won't be mentioning at all tonight, will we, Clyde?
Not at all.
No. And I love it. I love the section that we're going through here with Sam Blease at the moment. Because, you know, Sam is good on the tracks that he knows. Virginia, nobody goes to that much anymore. Even in the officials, it doesn't feature too many times. So I think the advantage is with Matt Elmore.
Okay, 7/10 of a second between them at the moment. Same question to you, Mr. Toon. What side of the fence is your pension pot on?
Well, yeah. Well, this was a bit of a head and a heart thing for me because I'd really like Matt to win it. He's been great all season, and I think Sam's won it before, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. So my heart says I want Matt to win it because he hasn't won it before, and that would be great. And he's been doing great racing with Carl all season. I've really enjoyed it. But, you know, Mr. Blease is a cunning man. And I know he hasn't been to the track much, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't pull something out the bag tonight. I think he's been getting better in the last couple of weeks, improving his pace and stuff. So my heart says Matt and my head says Sam.
Okay. Well,
What shall I go with?
I think you're going with something to remove the splinters out of your backside because you sat on the fence there, mate.
Yeah, that fence panel is properly wedged, isn't it?
I could go for Carl. No, I'm gonna say that Sam's gonna win it. He's gonna come out of the blue and ruin my hopes for Matt, because that's the way life is.
Okay, well, I agree with everything that both of you guys have just said. And strangely, I'm just going to take my glasses off so I can see. I think that on out-and-out pace, Sam wins every single time. As I said before, on consistency, especially this season, wins every time. But noticed on the chat that Tyler is thinking exactly the same way as me. I have a feeling that Matt Elmore is going to get this because he's got teammates around him.
Well, I've been running the blimp cam, which apparently is attached to the Mir space station.
Yes,
it's that far away,
here, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can see these three, Russell, Matt and Shane, have been team driving the quali. That's them there,
Yes.
all three of them in a line. So Tyler's maybe spotted it, and I think he's on it, and I think you're right as well. And I don't like agreeing with you ever, so.
I think maybe if Spencer McCarthy was here, I think Sam would have more of a chance. No disrespect to Matt Flannery, but I'm not sure he's going to be up the sharp end affecting results. No, and I don't mean that in a people knocking other people off the track kind of way. But even if you took qualifying as it stands now, Sam Blease has got to get past Russell Cowell. I'm pretty sure Shane would then let Matt Elmore past him. Sam would then have to get past Shane, and that's before he even gets to Matt. Then he's probably going to have a gap to Matt to close down before he can even challenge him. However, let's just throw a little curveball in here. We're at Virginia, and people make mistakes.
Oh, yes.
It doesn't matter if every single car on the grid is your teammate bar one. They can't stop you from making a mistake. Has Matt Elmore got a mistake-free race in him, Pete?
I don't think anybody can guarantee it round here. You get offline a little bit and one tyre off the track, and you can see how much grass there is. It's proper real estate-tastic round here. Once you're off the track, you go for miles before you can go back on it. There's certain places, the top of the hill with the chicane, which these guys are not heading towards. Just before where they are now, which is Old Oak Tree, there is a section where you can go absolutely landscaping for about an hour before you find anything like tarmac.
You seem to be speaking from experience there, Pete.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I may resemble those charges, yes. It's where they're heading towards now, to be honest. Everybody has been off the track at this chicane. And if you remember, hilariously, I think it was last season we went here, whenever that was, Martin Brennan absolutely annihilated Wobbly at that corner.
Probably
he did, yes.
£10 note, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He got 10 quid. It was like he timed it perfectly. So I don't think that anybody is guaranteed an incident-free race around here. And when an incident occurs, it involves lots and lots of grass.
So
it's dangerous, isn't it? It's a
It
dangerous
is.
track.
Yeah.
You know. And,
Alan, do you think we will see a straight fight, or do you think there is a third player in this title fight, and that is VIR itself?
well, there's VIR on this car. He's going to be on the pace and in there and thereabouts. And I take your point about the team driving. That is a whole different, new, interesting slant for us to look at, because it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But I think pace is pace, and if Sam's on pace tonight, I think he'll win.
All right,
regardless.
Let me throw another curveball in then that I've just thought of. Pit tactics.
Yes.
we have seen Sam Blease do some absolutely, absolute master strokes with pit tactics. Could that give him the championship?
We won't know. The thing is, if he's holding back and saving fuel, and we know he's absolutely brilliant at it, then you wouldn't know whether he was doing that or whether he just didn't have the pace, would you?
Well, tune in an hour, folks, and we might know the answer to that question.
You'll know then.
Interestingly, Gary Craig brought this up on the chat about what are their drop scores. That's not going to come into it because they both already had a 0. So this is a straight bun fight. As we said, Matt Elmore leads by 4 points. If they happen to run first and second, the difference between first and second is 5 points. So, holy schmoly.
Oh my word.
Just maybe have the most wonderful accident out of the corner of my eye.
That's brilliant.
So, difference between first and second, 5 points. Second and third, 5 points. Then it drops to 4 points. So, this could be one of them where we have to go on countbacks and things like that.
Ooh,
So
check the chat.
Yeah, that's mind games, mate.
Is
mind
it?
games.
All
Not
right,
having any of that.
In that case, we won't say what it says.
He qualified second, and that was only by 4/100ths of a second. Well, 4/1000ths of a second. So, right, let's bring you your season finale, round 12 VIR starting grid. Simon Trendle takes pole for Team Chimera in GT4 class. Stephen Walker second for Spectre 6. Stefan Goebel third for VTS Esports. Fourth, Rob Venn, BSTV Esports Pink. Fifth, Jamie Wilson, Team Chimera. Sixth is Chris Needham, RWC Racing Red. Arnaud Chenonnier, RWC Racing Red in seventh. And Jason Haddington rounding out your GT4s for RWC Racing Blue in eighth. In TCR, Shane Powell, Spectre 6 Solo, takes the pole. Matt Elmore in second for Spectre 6 TCR. Teammate Russell Cowell in third, Spectre 6 TCR. Fourth, Sam Blease. He popped that one in above Carl Hardy right at the end, I believe. Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black. Carl Hardy in fifth, Safeguard by result. Sixth, JB Dejoux, LMT Racing. Seventh, Matt Flannery, Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black. Andy Littler, Spyro by result in eighth. And is Wobbly on the grid?
Yep.
He's done a time.
No, he's done a time. He's not gridded.
Right, okay. So we're not sure that Wobbly's going to start the race, but you never know. He does have some funky juice in him, we've heard. So we'll have to wait and see. So everybody at home, usual format, 60-minute race, forced pit stop because the cars are under-fueled. Just to add to the little points, if somebody's trying to work it out in their head who's going to win this championship, don't forget the drivers lose a point for every incident point they get as well. So not only do these guys need to go quick, they also need to go clean to maximise their points. GT4s will pull away, I'm sure, as usual. TCRs will give them plenty of space. They certainly don't want to get caught up in anything, although Sam Blease probably does want them to get caught up in something.
Wobbly's on the grid.
Okay, so let's see if Wobbly can no, I'm not even going to say it. No, let's not say that, because then it will happen.
That's definitely a wild card element.
Yeah. Also, for the folks at home and the drivers, when they watch this back, we will be making a decision on what direction this series goes in the next couple of days, and then let everybody know.
Yeah.
So this is fascinating.
Well, we've got a
there?
full crew of Spectre 6 at the front 3 positions.
What is Sam Blease doing? He's 6 seconds behind. Is he doing some weird, strange, funky tyre warming thing? Because he's now putting his foot down.
Wow, this is fantastic.
The
Prospect.
mind games have started.
Yep. I think you're right. He's got him up now, though. I think he's got 1 foot on the brake and 1 foot on the gas. I think he's heating his brakes and putting heat into the tyres as a result. So that grid is together now.
Okay, well, I don't care what goes on. I am keeping an eye on the TCRs on my second screen because I want to know what's going on at all times.
Yeah, the GT4 grid is quite spacey at the minute. You can see the TCRs in the background on the broadcast.
Obviously, those Team Chimera guys, they are battling for the team championship. So Simon Trendle will be after some help in scoring big points from teammate Jamie Wilson. I think the only time I'm going to be quiet tonight is when I am stuffing myself with cake.
How have you not got diabetes?
I have.
Oh, you...
So, well, Stefan hasn't walked away with the pace this week, has he?
No, because we're not at Fuji. He has asked if we can do next season all at Fuji.
Right. Oh, well. Yeah, I can see why he'd want to do that.
Here we go.
This first couple of laps is mouth-watering prospect. What's going to happen here?
Just watching Mr. Walker, who basically conceded that start, didn't he?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're away, folks. 60 minutes time, we will know our champions.
Sam Blease.
Is he going to do one already?
Yep.
He is. Okay, so now we're interested.
Yes, we are.
Sam Blease is now 1 position, 5 points in the race, 9 points in total behind Matt Elmore. And there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to do those calculations all night, so forget it.
And we're racing. Wasn't able to keep him behind him, was he?
No, poor start, to be honest.
Caught on the hop. Going to switch forward.
Yeah, Matt could have really done with some help there, but there's a long, long way to go.
And Simon Trendle with a bit of a gap now already at Old Oak Tree. Oh, no, he's not. He nearly crashed.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he's lost the lead.
Close.
Oh, wow.
Well,
you're new.
This track's got teeth, as you know.
Yes, it really does. And he's going to get Stefan Goebel there as well. And he's been done.
You not find, though, Simon is one of those... I'm going to say it's talent and not luck. He doesn't crash very often, does he?
No.
We see him lose the car, but he always manages to gather it up. He might lose a position or two, but he gathers it up. No damage to the car, and onwards and upwards.
Russell Cowell's taken that position back. Probably heard me having a pop at him.
Yeah, that's not what Sam wanted. Although I'm not going to say things like that yet because we don't know what sort of tactical
very early days
Sam is going to be using. He might be happy sitting behind them and saving some fuel and trying to jump the pair of them in the pit stop. We just don't know. To me, it looks like he's very racy.
It does, and it looks like Russell is playing rear gunner.
Yeah, I think so.
He backs out of that massively.
Shane is checking out a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Russell has got to play the good teammate here, hasn't he?
Well, he had a prime opportunity to take second position at turn 1 and fully backed out of it after taking the overtaking line that Sam could have taken away.
Interesting.
And this is where a lot of overtakes are going to take place, isn't it, Alan? Down this straight towards that chicane at the top of the hill.
The chicane is lethal, though, isn't it?
It's bad, isn't it?
Blind, and the camber is a nightmare. And if you get the first element wrong, you can't get it back, and then you're out of control going around the last bit. And it's a very exhilarating piece of track when you get it right. It's really exciting, but it doesn't take very much for it to go horribly wrong.
No.
And these guys have got to go around there a fair number of times, so you just don't know. And the other thing is, bad things can happen just in front of you there, and you don't know about it because you can't see anything.
I don't think I've ever done 2 laps around here on the same racing line.
Yeah, I can agree with that, absolutely. Have either of you done the full circuit with the infield?
No.
It's got a great pit lane.
We have done the, what do they call the small one?
Hello?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm spinning around.
The tree, it's the tree.
Yeah.
So that was just the first episode.
Yeah, I was going to say, he didn't end up there, did he? What's he tried to do? Has he lost it coming back on the track? No. Some smoking hot tyres. Oh, I've done this. I've done this.
Yeah, you can see it coming.
Many times. Know exactly what's going to happen.
I'm going to turn right here. No, I'm
not.
Oh, actually.
He went straight on nicely.
Crikey. Yeah, that looked a little bit hardware-y to me. But
it did, yeah.
We'll wait. We're not used to Jason having that sort of accident. We're used to seeing him spin round, although to be fair to him, he has cut a lot of that out recently.
Yeah.
But that looked very, very straight on. Something happened.
That's him leaving pit road.
What happened to me on Monday when my brakes failed in 2 races on the first lap. So, and that's exactly what happened to me at Paddock Hill Bend, straight on into the wall. Yeah. So that looked like a mechanical failure, definitely.
JB,
there was no turning.
On screen at the moment, getting it all wrong.
That wasn't so bad though.
No, I actually thought that was going to be a lot worse than it turned out to be.
Yeah, I've seen people pile into those tyres really heavy.
Yeah, they're more like concrete tyres, aren't they?
Yeah, because it's an old render of the track.
Tonight, I suppose, notable for JB, his last race for LMT Racing, before he joins the BSTV eSports stable. So,
yeah, and it's going to be good to have him in the crew as well. Really nice bloke, fits in really well with BSTV.
Simon Trendle taking that second place back from Stefan Gogol in GT4. And Rob Venn doing well again up there with the 3 leaders in class.
Yeah, he's found his pace, hasn't he, Rob? It's a shame it's come right at the end of the season. The last few weeks he's been showing well. But,
question from Tyler. Are there fastest lap points? I can't remember the rules in this one, sorry.
I'm actually the rules no. So, pole position, which isn't going to make any difference because none of them got it. 1 bonus point for the driver with the fastest lap.
Awesome. Simon Trendle just took back, and he was desperate for it because that was a very, very dangerous place to overtake for him because it was around the outside of the top of the hill chicane. Which, by the way, is a turn called Roller Coaster. And I always like the name of the next named turn, which is the final turn as you pass the pit lane entry, which is called Hog Pen.
Yeah, there are some named turns around here, aren't there?
Yeah.
Like front straight, back straight.
Well, you do have a horseshoe somewhere. Is that
Left
the
hook,
turn
that's
one?
a good one.
Left hook, which
roller
one's that?
coaster.
Roller Coaster.
Yeah, roller
Oh, yeah,
coaster.
yeah, that's the one at the top.
Yeah.
That's the chicane at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
Oak tree, which
We know that one, yeah.
Saying oak tree isn't there anymore,
No, it's gone.
as in the tree, not the turn.
Yeah, the tree's been gone. The last time I saw a real life race, I was like, why doesn't that look like? Where is the tree? And of course it had gone.
Yeah. I think it was lightning, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
My
you're right.
lightning.
I'm sure somebody told me that story.
Still, we've got it still, and that's very nice for them. So they can always come here and remember their tree. 'Cause
Absolutely.
it's magnificent, isn't it? We love that tree.
Yes, so Jason's wheel turned off.
Oh,
Yeah.
no way.
We have a similar turn, Pete, in this country.
Go on.
And we've been there
Hey,
together.
Cadwell. Oh, the one at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good actually. That is very close to it, isn't it? Yeah, what's that called? I've no idea. Google it, will you? It's after you got Mountain Rise over the start finish straight through the chicane thing.
Yeah, it's just after the chicane.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Have you been to Cadwell, Alan?
No, never been there.
I would if I was you. It's a
I would
wonderful,
love to.
wonderful track. Oh, hang on, that was. Sorry, I spotted something in the background. Oh, look at this. Hang on. Oh, that's a hardware failure, surely.
I really wish I hadn't have looked at the name of that turn now.
Oh dear, what's it called?
Hairpin.
Right, so what's happened here?
Multi 21.
No, this is wobbly.
It's as wobbly.
Sorry.
Has he purposefully driven into the wall? Yes.
Oh,
I think that's an angry rage quit.
I think he could have saved that.
Yeah, I think he's been a bit frustrated and decided to bin it. This shows you how close to the car in front Matt Elmore is driving right now. The car in front is P1.
Look at that line.
These are, yeah, they're very close now, aren't they, Alan?
Goodness me.
Oh, Wobbly says his pedals stopped reacting. So not a rage quit, just a hardware failure, same as Jason.
Yeah. Ah,
Now,
bad week for pedals. I've had it.
Yeah.
Everybody's having.
I think there was a disconnection between brain and foot.
is that the pedal malfunction, is it? So this is starting to concertina up now, guys.
Well,
Yeah.
from a team perspective and helping L teammate win, wouldn't you expect Shane to let Matt pass and then Shane and Russell try and slow Sam up? Just a thought.
I think Mark Draper's got it right, and I think
Oh!
what?
Oh!
What?
Oh! You need to look at the TCRs.
I am looking at the TCRs. What am I looking for?
is going to go on.
Oh, I'm still on replay. That's why.
Yes.
Silly
I
boy.
don't want to say anything, but you need to find it.
I'm on it. Race-defining moment.
A double mistake, shall we say?
Oh.
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 Oh. What?
That.
I have no idea what happened there.
I do.
Oh, don't worry. Don't keep on this battle.
Yeah.
On this battle.
I've seen
but
it
not on the
all,
replay.
That was a bit of very bad braking and solid air. A little bit of solid air.
That could have ended so much worse. But
yes.
Still on the road.
What happened here?
Oh.
That's not very gentlemanly.
Mm-hmm.
Quite know what to say about that, but
No.
it didn't look good. Let's
So
put it that way.
That was Russell Cowell, by the way, that was involved in that. Let's just have a quick look.
Yeah, he's definitely donked him. For me, if I was Russell, that would have been an immediate give the position back.
Yeah, I would agree. So as it stands, Sam Blease is still ahead of Matt Elmore at the moment, but I don't know what points are awarded for the positions that they're in 4th and 5th.
4th and 5th there is 4 points between it. So
that puts them level.
That would literally take it down to whatever incident points they get in this race.
What? Do we not defer back to wins?
No, because incident points will take away race points. So if there is a difference...
Oh, of course. Sorry, me being stupid. Yes. Tony Walker has leapt to Russell's defence on the chat.
Yeah, I'm not having that, Tony, sorry.
No, never mind, that's why I didn't read it out.
There was plenty of time there to give that position back. For me, that was a case of not wanting to let a teammate down, but...
yeah. So...
I don't like to see that sort of thing. I'm not saying he did it on purpose, far from it, but
no.
This series is a lot cleaner than that.
And Sam has taken a position away from Carl there, so I think now he's in the ascendancy.
Well, just so you know, if there was a tie, just to prove how close it is, there is also 1 incident point between these two guys.
Yeah.
I won't say in which direction, but... So, what has happened to Matt Elmore? He's dropped... Is it purely because he's off the back of the pack and not getting the draft?
I don't think this is a track really, is it? You know? Yeah. We know he's got the pace to keep up, so...
Well, we've got to remember that my curses are strong. And I backed him.
Well, there is that, yeah.
That gap's going out, though, you know.
It is.
not that I'm arguing with Tony, but Tony says he doesn't like defending him. To be honest, he ran off. If he had slowed, Carl would have passed as well.
That's
I
okay.
say to that, that's part of it. If you're going to try a silly move on somebody and you get it wrong, give the position back, and if you have to give 2 back, it's your own
give
fault.
2 back. Yep.
Yeah, Tyler's just picked up as well. Matt has been keeping pace, but he's now 3 seconds off the pack since he went off.
Yeah.
Now, we certainly didn't see any contact there, so I don't think it's damage.
No. Well, maybe it's just the lack of draft. But look at Carl dropping off the back of Sam now as well. Do you think this is a tyre thing?
Surely not. Surely not at this stage.
Carl's not had any contact. Carl's not been off track.
No.
How about a sandbagging thing?
Maybe.
Notice what I said there? Sam?
I got it. I just didn't want to entertain it too much.
Yeah. You just phased, weren't you?
I wouldn't want to get dropped, would he? I mean, I would have thought if there's any toe at all, he was well in the toe. So.
Oh, Wobbly's problems was all his wife's fault, as usual.
Saw that.
Yeah.
Thought it was.
We're not having that, Wobbly.
No.
Not having that at all.
Rob Van having a really good look at Stefan. Letting himself in known.
One day I will meet Wobbly's wife and I'm going to tell her all the shit that he blames her for.
Yeah. Ooh, that was a bit. That's a different line from Rob, but it was effective. Yeah, his wife is called Ifya. So we can make an appeal to her to, do random things like switch his rig off and things like that every so often.
Can you not take tablets for that?
Yeah.
I think Wobbly's wife is an angel for putting up with him.
I know. Patience and...
Yes.
Yeah.
How does she do it? She deserves a medal. Right, so let's get back to the action. Sam Blees definitely wants this 2nd place. It looks as if, I'm probably way off the mark here, but it looks like his pace is forcing Russell to overdrive a bit.
Possible. You don't know that Russell hasn't ended up with some damage. Wobbly says it's always the way. You don't know that he hasn't had some sort of damage, but I can't even see any paint scrubs on the side of the car. So
no. Matt and Carl seem to have stopped the rot, shall we say.
Yeah. Maybe they're fuel saving. Maybe they're wanting to hit a number.
Oh, all right. Here's another. Yeah, I love a conspiracy theory. Are Shane and Russell not driving at 100%, trying to bring Carl and Matt back into this race?
Let me have a look at lap times, and lap times would indicate that is a possibility. So their best laps are 157.7 and 157.2 respectively. Their last laps were 158.5 and 158.7 respectively. Excuse me. Whereas Sam is doing routine 157.5 and 7.
Yeah, because he can't go forward because he's stuck at the moment. But has he noticed this tactic, and has that increased his urgency to get past?
I don't think he's under threat at all because the cars behind him are doing 158s. Unless you mean, oh, look at him, fuel saving. Massive fuel save from Sam Blees, huge. You see that?
I'm surprised.
I think he might as well if he can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's a master of the pits, and
he is.
Really to get that.
Yeah, I agree with Alan. He is excellent at pit stop strategies, and that was one of the biggest lifts I've seen from a car. That was epic.
Of course,
And
everybody will be aware of that. And
yeah. Tony Walker on the chat says Sam will be fuel saving just as we were talking about it. So yeah.
yeah. But I don't think the throw's great on here, but if what there is, he's getting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looks like Cole's bridged the gap. So
It
where's
does.
Matt? Where's Matt?
Sorry, I got very interested in the Stephen Walker Simon Trendle battle because it reduced down to 0.1 of a second just for a moment. Different lines through roller coaster there. No, not roller coaster, turn 1.
Stefan's pulled a little bit of a gap on Rob now.
A small gap. They were bolted together not
But
long
they were
ago, weren't
bolted
they?
together,
Yes.
weren't they?
Yeah.
It's nice to see that Stephen and Simon still racing hard.
Oh yeah.
It's good, isn't it? They're still going at it. You know, they could just go through the numbers, but they're not doing that at all. They're racing.
Look at that. Look how far out with the corner he is off the gas. Rolling it in.
I would say Sam's fairly comfortable where he is.
I think so.
And I'm a bit worried that Matt's so far behind. It's 7 seconds, nearly 8 seconds. He's losing. He must have maybe he's just picked up some suspension damage or something.
Yeah, but interestingly, even Sam's pace now has dropped into the 158s. And this is the first lap where Carl Hardy has, sorry, the previous lap was the first lap that Carl Hardy has turned a faster lap than Sam.
Yeah, but I'll add to that by saying Sam will be seeing that Matt Elmore is not catching these guys, so maybe his urgency to overtake them has gone away and his brain has switched to fuel saving mode to try and eke out some more seconds in the pit stop to get this job done.
I think it would have been at least only just slightly second strategy. My thought would be that he was tried to make an early start. If he could have got, he was working hard to warm his tyres up on the warm-up lap. So I think he was trying to make he would have liked to have made an early start through the grid and get in front and make a gap, but that didn't work. And so then I think his next strategy instantly would have been fuel saving, because he knew he was going to be in for the long run and it wasn't going to be done there and then. He was going to have to do it the hard way.
I think Carl Hardy could be the spanner in the works here.
Well, it's a possibility. He is the wild card here, isn't he?
So here's my conspiracy, right? Sam believes saves fuel, comes out of after the pit stop and has jumped everybody because of his fuel saving. Russell and Shane are second and third, doesn't matter which order they're in. They need to get Matt Elmore in front of them, because if Matt Elmore finishes second, the guys are equal on points and it goes down to incident points. But Carl Hardy,
Goodness
how
me.
do they get Matt Elmore past them without Carl Hardy getting past them as well?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Wow, I wish you hadn't thought of that. I was very nice and comfortable where I was. Now you completely ruined my dreams. Oh dear, and that's just another whole bunch of equations to factor in. Goodness me, I'm no better off than I was before I had it all worked out.
No, and Mark Draper agrees with you, Clyde. Says you're bang on.
We've also got some inside information from Wobbly that I'm not going to read out.
Oh no.
Or the first part of it I shall read out after the pit stops have taken place. But obviously, we don't know what drivers are listening to the broadcast,
very
and
true.
Friends watching the broadcast that are talking to the drivers and things like that. So we won't give any secrets away until it doesn't matter. I'm still keeping an eye on that gap between Carl Hardy and Matt Elmore, and it's flicking around the 4-second mark at the moment. What can these guys engineer? We've got 3v1 v1.
Well, Matt's closing the gap, so that's got to be encouraging for him because he's pulled it back by 3 seconds.
I think you was looking at the wrong Matt, Allen, to be honest. That gap has never been more than 4.1. And Matt Flannery was behind Matt Elmore.
Yes, I still think it was Matt, though, but he was... I think he's closing the gap, basically. It was wider than it is now. But it's still a long way. And I don't know why he hasn't got the pace, because he had the pace in qualifying. I don't quite understand why. So if he's not on the pace and he's not keeping up, he's just running... There's got to be a reason for that. Otherwise, he'd be with them, wouldn't he? You know, there's got to be a reason.
He has, to be fair to him, he has closed it up to just over 3 seconds at the moment.
Yeah, it's closing. It's definitely coming down.
Pit window is most definitely open.
Ah, really? Already? Goodness me.
Yeah. And we can see
that?
Arnaud Chenonnier in the pits in the GT4 class.
Very unfortunate for Jason to have that slight problem so early on.
I'm just watching this to see where he comes out, because I think he's going to come out in that big gap between Matt Elmore and JB, which means that if any of the other GT4s come out, they're going to come out in the battle for the TCR lead.
Yeah, and that could shake things up a bit.
Yep. Bit of air between these cars at the moment.
Hot breaking news at the moment. I still haven't had any cake.
Oh, hang on, look at that. Oh, and Rob Venn has followed the...
Yeah, and Rob Venn in the pits.
So Stephen stayed out and Simon and Rob have come in.
Jamie Wilson in as well.
James in as well, yeah.
Stefan Gobel.
Stefan was there before. How long's he been there? He's been there for a while now. What's going on?
Oh, that's interesting.
You are... Oh! Sorry. Bad cameraman. That's what that is.
Oh, has he had a... Oh,
he got the curb
there, yeah.
On the way into Oak Tree. Oh, right. He's he can't steer. I think his suspension is...
that front left has gone, hasn't it?
Yes. Ah, what a shame. He was doing so... He pulled right on to third place.
Yeah. That's going to gift third place to Rob Venn at the moment.
Yes.
Well, podium's podium, but it wouldn't have wanted to get it that way. It's a rare mistake from Stefan, the way he's been driving recently. That's a shame, isn't it?
It really is. He was doing extremely well. Sorry, I'm trying to click on one that won't sit for me. There we go.
Hello, here we go.
So, this is Shane Powell and Matt Elmore. What can they conjure up here?
So they've gone in to go, hello.
In just Matt Flannery, don't panic.
That was nearly scared me then.
gone, Matt gone, but a bit of a gap between them.
Stephen Walker from the race lead of GT4.
Oh, and he's gone too far.
Oh, he did, yeah, and he's jumped.
He had about
He's taking tyres.
Yeah, 3 little goes there at reversing.
But I don't know why he's taking tyres. You shouldn't need to.
Well, you shouldn't, but some of the left-hand turns on this track are horrid.
Yes.
Maybe he thinks there's some lap time advantage in
Tyler.
taking lefts.
Tyler on the chat. 2 tyres still work in GT4, so it's still of benefit for the GT4 cars to pop and take tyres. So thanks for that, Tyler.
I reckon he's took 2 lefts there.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want your tyres going off on you, do you, on this track?
No way.
At the end of the race, hey, that's not going to be fun.
Sliding off the track on a right-hand turn round.
Yeah, just what you need.
No thanks.
This is fantastic.
Oh, here we go. So Sam Blease takes the lead. He's not pitted yet, but he's done whatever fuel saving he's going to do. He now wants to just get the lap of his life in here.
JB into the pits.
I will be sweating, shaking and nervous. Now, I'm sure that Sam isn't. He's very experienced and...
Well, I'm doing all of that, just watching.
I know, yeah.
Oh.
Mark Draper says hammer time for Sam, and he's ragging it, isn't he? You can see by the behaviour of the steering wheel.
Sure. Oh, he certainly is. Oh. Didn't watch.
Yeah, Sam chasing his second BSTV championship. Obviously, Matt chasing his first. Oh, I hate that so much.
Yeah, that's probably the most optimal way, but we don't drive fast enough to experience that.
He's just going past what is commonly known as the pit lane.
Yeah. I have actually stopped at all 3 on this track.
What, on the same lap?
Once, yes. 2 on the same lap because I pulled into the wrong pits.
Because people have done far worse things than that, Pete.
And Tyler needs a poke in the eye.
All.
Hey?
We didn't laugh at all.
For an hour.
I'm sure he didn't.
Pete's
I bet he needs some cake after that.
Right, leader is in, guys.
Oh, dear. Well.
I don't think my blood pressure can take this.
This is the money stop. It's going to be 0 tyres.
Don't drive over. Definitely back out. It's good to see. Yeah. Hello, well.
He's going to have a big-ish lead here. But he's got to get up to speed.
He's out in front. He couldn't wish for a better situation than this.
Absolutely.
So it's his to lose now.
Yeah, so this is what needs to happen now. Shane Powell needs to let Matt Elmore through. Russell Cowell needs to let Matt Elmore through. Matt Elmore needs to go like the clappers.
Multi-21.
Carl Hardy. Yeah.
Multi-21.
Happen.
Yep. It's a long way to Russell Cowell, mind. 4.5 seconds, and more than that.
Well, I don't think it's Russell that's the problem, is it? It's Carl. It's the gap between Matt and Carl.
So what do we do here? Does Russell go after Carl?
Well, I can't. Can he force him into a mistake?
Well, Sam Blease is 4 seconds down the road from those two.
Yeah.
I think this is Russell makes a pest of himself to Carl so that
Yeah,
Matt can catch up.
Matt has got to finish second to be in with a chance now. It's
Carl
on.
won't defend, will he? Carl will be just driving flat out. He won't be defending. He'll just go as fast as he can.
If I was Carl now, I would be on the blower to Sam and Matt and
Here we go.
starting a bidding war.
Yeah. Who's
Who
paying me the
wants
most?
it the most?
Yeah.
Who's got the biggest brown envelope?
Well, this is a tough one for Carl, isn't it? I wouldn't like to be where Carl is in a situation where he could actually hold the balance of power in this race because he's mates with all these people.
Yeah.
And
all Carl needs to do is race his race.
Yeah, exactly. And he will. He's just going to race his race and he'll do his best. And the situation won't affect him either way.
Oh, I think. Let's just see what happens here.
He's going to back out, surely, and let Matt go.
Yeah. I was just wondering if Matt Elmore had.
Oh, he's coming back.
So here's another thing that could happen. Russell charges and tries to get Sam Blease out of first position.
Has he got, what are the lap times looking at? Can he really pull back 5 seconds?
Well, you don't know.
5 seconds?
You don't know. Or maybe they've already conceded the championship and Russell is just racing as hard as he can for as many points as he can and the best finish he can, and if some miracle happens and Matt gets past Carl Hardy, then Russell will slow and let him go past.
That sounds feasible, doesn't it?
And Mark Draper's comment on the chat is absolutely right. It's now Sam's to lose, and there's still loads to go through in terms of this race. We've got 20 minutes or more.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of turns on a tricky track.
Yes.
I'm just going to have a look at incident points and see whether they are going
Sam's stretching it. Sam's pulling away. He's got pace.
Yeah. It all depends on what happens behind him, though, right?
If he wins, doesn't he win?
Depends on
Can he still lose? Right. So if Matt's second when Sam goes over the line in first.
Yeah. If Sam wins, Matt comes second. They are level on points.
That's when it counts back.
Either of them get the fastest lap, and I'm going to say this in inverted commas because I don't code the website. I'm hoping it picks up fastest lap in TCR as well as GT4, but only Mr. Boozin could sort that one out.
Yeah.
Then it would go to incident points, and who's collected the most, obviously they would then concede the championship. If they're level on that, it then goes back to firstly race wins. I think Mr. Blease may have that, but I'm going to have a quick look at the current season stat, and I haven't done it. Okay, but yeah, I think that is
right.
Mr. Blease. I'm hoping it doesn't come down to that. It's a horrible way to lose a championship. If you win a championship that way, you don't really care, but it's a horrible way to lose a championship. It's much better to have it sorted out on track.
Russell's got the fastest lap at the moment, so he's moving on. That means he's pushing on.
Yep, absolutely.
He's trying to catch Sam.
I wonder though, Carl's got very close to the back bumper of Russell. Is Russell now backing up? We'll know when they cross the stripe this time.
Well,
it's 6 seconds. The gap's growing slightly, isn't it, still?
Remember me saying that Carl Hardy could be the the problem in all this? If Carl wasn't there, then Russell slows down, lets Matt pass, and we go down to incident points. But Carl is there, so
He
it doesn't matter
is.
how much Russell slows down. That just means Sam Blease is getting away further, and Matt Elmore has still got to get past Carl Hardy.
I have to say though, Russell and Carl did 158.6. Matt Elmore did a 158 flat.
Yeah, and Sam Blease, I think, was even quicker because he stretched that lead out to almost 7 seconds now, just over 5 after the pit stop.
Yeah, he's definitely toe in, isn't he?
He's still pushing. He's not. He obviously isn't feeling well. Maybe he's just happy at driving at his pace, but he's still pulling the gap out. So he's still pushing on, isn't he?
Yeah. So in TCR, in GT4, Simon Trendle is still your race leader. He's got a massive lead over Stephen Walker of 15.7 seconds.
This shows you what that dodgy pit stop did.
Dodgy pit.
Yes.
Yeah. Tyres.
Yep. And let me have a look at that actually, just very quickly. He was pit lane time 55.9. That is Stephen Walker, of course. And 49.4 for Simon Trendle. So you are absolutely right. Rob Venn is in third. I'll do the top 5. Jamie Wilson, some way back actually, 14.9 seconds off Rob Venn. And then behind him is Chris Needham. And now we'll rejoin TCRs.
Very nice to see Stefan and Jason still in there, still plugging away.
Yep.
I love drivers. They race for the love of it, and it's such a wonderful thing.
I curse people terribly, don't I?
Oh dear.
Like he didn't say anything. What did you just look at him?
Apparently so, yeah. Chris Needham
Oh, you did say
at Roller Coaster.
Oh.
Oh, that's actually quite a hard hit. Because we know what the tyres are like here. They're made of concrete.
That mistake is a lot easier than people think.
Because the camber isn't with you on
It's
that
the
turn.
camber. It's
Yeah.
the camber. Isn't
Alan
it?
said it earlier.
Cranking extra steering in to get it round the corner, and then all of a sudden the camber just takes you in the other direction.
Yeah. And then, sadly...
He hasn't gone in the pits, though, is he? Oh. Has he gone in? Is he had to tow?
I don't know what caused him to be out there because it's not on my event tracker, but I think he's got very bad steering issues. And that's Stefan taking a position off him. And Arnaud Chenonnier. So, unfortunate for Chris Needham.
If he can drive the car, at least he doesn't have to tow. So
Yes.
fingers crossed for him. These two are still together. Is Matt closing the gap? 3.7. It's coming down slowly, I suppose.
Again, Russell Cowell and Cal Hardy, 158.5 and 0.4. Matt Elmore, 157.9.
Woo, that's half a second now.
It really
That's
is.
serious time. How long have we got? Ooh. Getting tight for time, 15 minutes.
Yes.
Less than that, coming up on 13 minutes.
You would want to be taking out minimum of half a second, maximum of a whole second for these guys, just to give Matt Elmore a chance, really. So if Russell continues in this way, backing Carl up, which I think he really is in critical places, the key with the TCR, I think, although I'm no expert after driving it for several seasons, is to just gun it down the straights. There's no benefit in slowing someone up there, and slow them really badly around all the slow turns.
Yeah, it's parking your car on apexes, isn't it? That's what he really needs to do.
Yep. He didn't do it there at Oak Tree, so maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
That is, I think that is the final throw of the dice here. Is Russell slows Carl down enough without letting Carl past that Matt gets onto the back of him. If Matt can somehow get past Carl, Russell lets him pass into second and we go down to incident points. But
Yep.
still 3.5 seconds.
GT's coming through here.
Into the pit.
TCRs, yeah. Well, at least he managed to drive in, so
Yeah, no towing time penalty. Yeah.
let's hope he can get. Let's hope it's not 9 minutes.
Yeah.
So just had a quick look at the incident points. Obviously, I'm not going to let you know what's going on, but if these two guys do finish level on points, it will be decided by incident points at the moment because there is a difference between the two.
Right, okay.
It says Sam will be driving safe now and avoiding incident points. Yes, because that gap has come down slightly. But you certainly wouldn't blame Sam Blees for driving at 95% now. Coming up on
Still 7 seconds,
10 minutes
isn't
to
it?
go.
You know, he's got 7 seconds. He can. That's a fair old lead.
Yeah, he can slow down half a second a lap or more quite comfortably.
He's driving a superb race. My hat's off to him at the moment. It's as good as he could have wished for and as good as he could have done, really. And I feel a bit downcast for poor Matt because I would like to see him up there with Sam having a scrap.
It would have been good, wouldn't it? Yeah, to have a real battle between those two.
Yeah.
Not over yet.
No, but Sam would probably prefer it as well if Matt was there and they were having a bit of a punch up.
Put yourself in Sam's shoes. You'll want to be 7 seconds out in the lead. The person that you're racing against struggling. Yeah.
You're so cynical.
You don't want to be sweating your way all the way to the end, do you?
Look, I live in the bright dream wonderland of unreality. Leave me alone.
10 minutes to go.
Wow, Cole. I think you should press on a bit, lad. They're cozying up to each other pretty well, aren't they? It looks to me like Cole's getting a bit frisky.
He is, but I think that's just because I think Russell is trying to back him up. You can see Matt Elmore in the foreground there, so.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And the gap to Sam Blees has just gone out to over 8 seconds. So
it's a dangerous thing that Russell's doing.
Russell's in a no-win situation, isn't he?
Yes.
He's got to get Matt up there somehow, but he's also got to try and keep him as close as possible to Sam, and also not concede a position to Carl. So, yeah, you certainly wouldn't want to be Russell at the moment.
No.
You probably wouldn't want to be Russell at any point in your life, but you know, that's another thing.
Ooh, hello.
There you go.
Love
I
to
could
see
that coming. I felt that in my water for the last lap.
Let's have a look at that.
I have. I knew that was coming.
But Russell will just think, well, that's going to slow him down a little bit further.
Yeah, it's
maybe not, because that was pretty clean.
That was clean, and yeah. We know that Cole's had the pace because he's been pressing hard, hasn't he? He's obviously perhaps the pressure from behind of Matt is giving him some ginger. get going.
Rob
Matt's
Venn.
limit 2 seconds.
Yeah, Rob Venn closing in now slightly on Stephen Walker. Mercedes versus Mercedes. But Simon Trendle, 21.3 seconds in the lead. That's pretty dominating, isn't it?
That's a Goebel-esque performance.
It really is, yes.
Stephen Walker seems to be struggling this phase of the race, doesn't he? Last time that we looked at the gap, he had 2.1 seconds to Rob Venn.
It was way healthier, yes.
Well, he shouldn't be because he changed his tyres. You know,
Yeah,
it cost him dear doing that pit stop, didn't it? Crikey.
Wondering if there's a mistake in there somewhere for Stephen.
Oh, sorry. This was just before I switched to that, funnily enough. Going up the hill into roller coaster.
There again. Not roller coaster again.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's where it came.
Yep.
It's harvesting some cars today, isn't it? Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rob was a long way behind, wasn't he?
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay, so that explains that.
Wow. It's got his little heart beating.
Only 2 seconds now.
Yeah. There's a multi-21 coming there, I'm sure. Although...
Makes no difference, though, does it? Because Carl Hardy, like you said, is the...
It doesn't.
Fly in the ointment.
Tom's got 10 seconds. He's put 3 seconds on while they've been scrapping and cars gone past.
Yeah, to be fair, it doesn't really matter to Sam, does it? Apart from on stress levels.
Yeah.
Whether he's 10 seconds or 1 second in front. His main chance of winning this championship was to win the race and see what else panned out.
Yeah.
Come on, Matt.
I think he's running out of time now.
Yeah, less than 5 minutes to go.
Get all my screens ready to get this result uploaded.
You get your screens going. I'll get my screams going.
Yeah. Just to update you on GT4, as Andrew Littler got out of the way there. Rob Venn dropping off the back of Stephen Walker now. 1.8 seconds. Andrew Littler trying to keep out of the way in the middle of the roller coaster.
Which is not an easy task.
It's not, no, but he's done all right. He's done all right. Sometimes it's better just to keep your toe in and get to a straight, but yeah, it's all about racecraft there. Right, this is Russell putting pressure on Carl and trying to slow him a bit further, I think. Not managed it on that occasion.
Matt Elmore is almost in the toe of this battle.
I think he is in the toe now. 1.4 seconds. I think it's about 1.5 that you get a touch of benefit.
Wow. What an end to the series, guys. This is immense, isn't it? We're still on the edge of our seats. We still don't know what's going to happen.
It's very much a strategy game. Really, Russell needs to effect an overtake on Carl Hardy now to really slow him up enough to force him into Matt Elmore's path and reduce that gap very quickly. And this may be his opportunity.
Matt Elmore can see his chance of the championship in front of him.
And it's in a green car, not an orange one.
These are side by side to the
oh!
Oh!
I'm not sure that's entirely cricket, is it?
Well, I was going to say a little while ago, and I decided not to, but I'm going to say it now. I really hope that this battle stays clean and doesn't affect the championship.
Let's have a quick look.
No,
There was nothing in that really.
No.
Where I joined it made it look worse, but that,
Yeah.
you know, that was nothing. Thankfully, that was nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than a bitter taste in the mouth.
No, we don't expect it with these guys, and I don't expect it now.
No.
We're inside the last 90 seconds.
Are we going to pick up white flag?
And Matt get by Carl in one lap.
It's more where Simon Trendle is.
Yeah, I was just looking at him. He's coming round Oak Tree at the moment.
With 1 minute to go, a lap for these guys is nearly 2, so I think the next lap is white flag.
I think he might just make it across the line.
Yeah.
Something to Stephen.
Hey? Oh?
He's
Gone? According to my screen, he's not here anymore.
No, he's gone from the session.
Oh, he was passing through the obvious battle and got a bit of a tag from Carl.
I think he did, yes.
But I think he was in a battle that he possibly should have avoided. I don't know.
So we're still on there. Where is Simon?
Ooh.
Yeah, so Simon has started the final lap. So this TCR battle, when it comes across the start-finish line here, this is the final lap.
Okay, we're going to stay with this because there's nothing in GT4. This is the closest series of battles on track.
Final lap of the season.
And we still don't know.
Not yet, anyway.
Because if Matt gets past Carl, we know Russell is going to let Matt past. No pressure at all on Carl, but the championship is in his hands.
He won't care. He'll be racing his heart out. He'll be racing his little heart out and doing his best to get on that podium. He's pure racer, is Carl.
Okay, so that's half the lap done.
This is very close now.
He's trying to slow him up again. Look at that, he's got his brakes on straight.
I know Chenonnier has entered. No, he hasn't.
Oh, he's got to. No, you can't. Oh. I think he's off too much trying to slow him down, and it's a very delicate. It's a delicate thing, isn't it? That Russell's been having to do.
Trendle has crossed the line and took the GT4 win.
Well done, Simon. Congratulations, Simon.
Massive multi-21 from Russell Cowell and Matt Elmore.
I think that's all he could do to give Matt a chance, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think it's not going to be enough.
So, high drama at the end of that.
Well, they certainly took it all the way to the last lap of the last race. Unofficially, Sam Blease is the champion. in TCR, Simon Trendle in GT4. I'm just waiting for some more cars to cross the line. I suppose they are small cars.
Compared to your car, it's only missing the turret off the top, isn't it?
Nothing wrong with my tank.
Yes, but a tank made of cake, Clark. Honestly.
You know what? I'm literally, when we finish this broadcast, I'm going to go downstairs and announce to my wife that we're getting a divorce because I haven't had any cake.
It's beyond a strongly worded letter, isn't it?
It's yeah. I'm peeved.
Peeved. Stefan is out of fuel. I'm pretty convinced.
No.
Yeah, and
just got across the line.
Oh, thank heaven.
I think Arnaud backed out of it because he didn't want to overtake Stefan.
Why?
I just think that.
Let me get that replay saved. And
so Jamie got third, did he?
Get this result.
Jamie Wilson, third, yes.
Yeah, well, I think that will probably, possibly, maybe clinch the team championship.
Oh, wow, right, okay.
Jamie. It's a good result.
Right, let me. Where's iRacing gone? There it is. Come on, I need the result.
There was a 14-second gap at the end there between Sam and Carl.
Yes.
Wow.
Impressive. But there was a lot of shenanigans
going on with slowing down. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
They seemed like, but yeah. Russell was slowing him down quite a lot, but...
Right.
So I'll run through the finishing order while Clyde does all the calculations. So your GT4 winner tonight was Simon Trendle for Team Chimera. Second was Rob Venn for BSTV Esports Pink. And third, as we just mentioned, or as Alan just pointed out, Jamie Wilson for Team Chimera. So Team Chimera mopped up a massive amount of points there for the team championship with Stefan Goebel in fourth. I think running out of fuel over the line for VTS Esports, but I'm not entirely sure. Arnaud Chenonnier backing off at the last because he didn't want to pass him in that way for fifth place for RWC Racing Red, and his teammate Chris Needham, who we saw in trouble earlier, in sixth. Stephen Walker, who we saw having problems, in seventh place, with respect to sixth, and Jason Haddington rounding out the GT4 standings in eighth for RWC Racing Blue. And then TCRs. So your race winner for tonight, and we'll find out from Clyde shortly what the maths turns out as, was Sam Blease for Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black. Second was Carl Hardy for Safeguard by Result. And Carl may be the defining factor here. We'll find out. Matt Elmore finished third for Spectre 6 TCR, with his teammate Russell Cowell doing a stand-up job of trying to slow Carl Hardy down and put him into the moor in fourth place for Spectre 6 TCR. Shane Powell finished fifth for Spectre 6 Solo, with JB Dejoux for LMT Racing, sponsored by Shriners Hospital there, in sixth place. Seventh was Matt Flannery for Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black. And Andrew Littler finished eighth for Spiro by Result, or Spiro, with Wobbly quitting because his wife turned some electrical component on, and that was his excuse for the night, in ninth place.
Right, okay, so let's not announce the results. Let's get the drivers in and announce it as we go. So, first off, let's bring in our reigning and the man who has defended his GT4 title in season 9, Simon Trendle. Congratulations. And
congratulations.
Yeah, it's a shame it sort of fizzled out in the end, because the first half of that race was really interesting because of just how strong the draft was. I looked at I was trying to get the fastest lap at the end of the race, and I would never have got it because the cars behind me in the end of the first stint were getting such mega draft off 2 or 3 cars in front of them that the lap times were unachievable with on your own. So I was chasing that because I was bored.
Well, we did see the little Trendle mistake that sometimes creeps in. But then that put you into a bit of a fight, didn't it? And, getting those positions back before ultimately, Stephen having a couple of errors and disappearing. And, the official result is going to show a nice easy win for yourself.
Yeah, the mistake lap one, cold tyres, went a bit ever so slightly wider. No one was more surprised than me when that car spat me to the right hand side of the track. But yeah, I caught it. That's the important part. The whole race flashed before my eyes as I was going off, and I thought I'm not going to catch this. And then it came back. Yeah, only a small mistake. Could have been a lot bigger had it not snapped back. But yeah, I make those occasionally. I was pushing, to be honest. I was trying to break the draft, and as we saw, that was stronger than I was expecting. So if it had worked, it would have worked really well, but probably not.
And I can also tell you that finally teammate Jamie Wilson had a decent result, and that has also meant that you guys have taken the team's championship.
Really? I guess that's by luck than anything. Obviously, people dropped out and he ended up third, I think. So, yeah, don't ask him that because he's in a bad mood. If he comes in,
Excellent, excellent.
Thanks for giving us the wind-up tip. That's excellent. Yeah.
Well, you've had an absolutely fantastic season in a car that, shall we be nice and say you didn't fully fall in love with. What's been your highlight?
Good question. The first round was good up until the first pit stop. There's a problem. There's a lot of races have been good in one half, and like they fall away in the other half. So, I don't know. I'm trying to remember all the races now. I'm getting old.
Well, there's been an awful lot of incredible racing, Simon. You've entertained us royally for 12 weeks. It's been a fantastic series. I can't believe the time's flown. And I want to thank you because you've been a superb champion. And now look at you again. Yeah, fantastic, mate.
Yeah, I don't get on with the Porsche. I can drive it, but it doesn't make me want to drive it more. It's got a technique to it, and obviously Stefan got it last week. Very, very right. And we've taken away his jet fuel this week, I think, so that's good. But yeah,
we go again.
Where is something else?
If we go again next season, is it going to be the Merc this time?
It's the only one I haven't driven. I don't know. I'm in two minds on that because yes, I'd like to finish off the set. I'd also like to drive something that no one else is driving. That was reasonably true at the start of this season. There was just a handful of us in the Porsche, and other people have dropped out, and then it's just become the more common car, which is annoying because I like driving something odd. But yeah, we'll see.
Excellent. Well, like I say, congratulations on retaining your championship and also the team championship. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, to you guys for the league, the broadcast, everything. It's entertaining on a Wednesday night. Well, I wouldn't really be doing anything else, so might as well have some fun. To Jamie for being miserable, I suppose. And for the free karma, happy birthday to my sister who's not watching, but sod it, I'll say it anyway.
You never know. You never know. Well, yeah, absolutely brilliant, mate. We've thoroughly enjoyed watching you this season, and we hope you'll be back with us next season, whatever we're racing. Simon Trendle.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, guys. So next up, let's bring in our new TCR champion, Mr. Sandys. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello.
Good evening. So much to talk about in that race. So much could have changed from the start to the finish. it was just I don't know. We was coming up with conspiracy theories all the way through because it was changing every single lap, and we was thinking of something else that could go wrong or somebody else that could take somebody else out. And yeah, from your perspective, I suppose I wouldn't say stress free, but you know, you did everything you needed to do in the first half of the race. You must have been delighted to see Matt Elmore drop out of that pack. And then the second half of the race, all you could do was carry on, make no mistakes, and win.
Yeah, essentially, I knew I needed to beat Cap. I had no idea how many incidents he had. So I was ahead of him, but I had 3, and I was like, well, if he's got none or one, as it turned out, he did have.
He did have one, yes.
Yeah, he only needed to finish second. So I spent the last half of the race saving enough fuel so that I could push at 100% for the last like 7 laps to try and get the fastest lap point. Because I didn't know what he had, but I was just like, well, any extra point's an extra point. I didn't quite get it. I think I was about a 10th off, which is annoying. But it didn't matter in the end because Carl managed to stay ahead. So
yeah, I was going to say you must owe Mr. Hardy a pie or two.
I think I do. I think
for being that fly in the ointment. But you know, we said you know at the top of the show that Matt Elmore has been a fantastic adversary for you this season. He's been Mr. Consistent, whereas you know, through lack of practice and other bits and pieces, your form has been either hot or cold and nothing in between. So it must be pleasing for you to win a championship where you possibly wasn't the favourite.
Yeah, I think, like you say, yeah, I mean, props to Cat. He's done great. He's been massively improved, and in fact, all of them have. So him and Russ and Carl have been way closer than, way closer to like me and Spencer than we've ever seen before. So that's excellent for the championship, and it's really great to have that level. And like you say, yeah, I mean, I came in slightly behind. I hadn't driven at all on this tracking car until about 5 o'clock this afternoon because I was away at a weekend. So I was like, oh, I didn't come in expecting much, but I was quite lucky. I found a setup early on that worked, and I was just like, okay, well, let's stick with this and let's see what we could do. Not take any risks at the start. There was a bit of a Wreck-It Russ moment for me and for Caps, but that was fine. We all survived and carried on. So yeah, it was just all I could do was sort of stay out of trouble and score as much as I can and hope things worked out behind me, and luckily it did today.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing we commented on was it was 3 versus 1, wasn't it?
It was rather at the start, yeah.
No, you know, no disrespect to Matt Flannery, but he was not going to be up there in that top group. So it was going to be you against the 3 Spectre 6 guys. And
well, I'd even always end
well.
I'd co-opted Wobbly, but then he didn't bother qualifying. Or I mean, he did, but you know, and then claimed his pedals went off when he made a mistake.
You can never rely on Wobbly, mate.
No.
We know that. But you know, go on. Sorry.
You know, like you say, I was just going in, sort of going, yeah. Well, I just need to stay clean and hope the strategy works out. So I was just saving loads of fuel at the start on the basis that if I could have a shorter pit stop, I felt like I had enough to stay ahead if I got ahead. Like I didn't think I'd be reeled in like I was a couple of weeks ago. So it was just like, well, if I can get the gap, I'll just save the fuel, not take any risks at all, and stay behind. And yeah, it worked out in the end.
Yeah, well, absolutely fantastic, mate. We've, you know, every season something goes down to the wire. You know, you guys have done it again. And yeah, you've managed to pip him, and that's your second championship. So whatever we're doing next season, we hope that you're going to be with us to provide more exciting racing. We hope you can drag Spencer back into it as well. Don't know why he's being such a girl and not racing, but
I think now he's back in the country, he's likely to be around a bit more. Hopefully,
was he been in prison abroad or something?
I don't think anything quite as exciting.
Oh,
But
damn. Right. Well, we'll start that rumour then and just see where
yeah,
it
yeah.
goes.
Why not? Why not?
So, as the champion again, any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Just like to reiterate again, excellent job to Cap, Russ, Carl, and completely Shane. Sorry, Shane. Completely blank on his name. They've all made a huge step, so it was really great to have that sort of that fighting at the front again. So yeah, hope we can carry that on into next season. As ever, thanks to all of you guys, and I see Pete rather than Sam on cameras, but usually Sam. So everyone involved in BSTV for
Yeah.
hosting.
Just watch the broadcast, mate. You'll soon realise it's Pete on cameras.
Not bad. I mean, thanks, Clyde.
Yeah, and everyone for being involved, Matt for being my teammate, and yeah, having some really good drives of his own. And yeah, just it wouldn't be what it is without all of the drivers. So thanks everyone for turning up week in, week out.
Excellent. Well, congratulations, season 9 TCR champion Sam Blees.
Well
Thank
done,
you guys.
Sam.
Cheers.
Right, normally at this point I would bring in our second place GT4 driver, but I'm sure Rob Venn will forgive me. And I'm going to bring in second place in the championship, Matt Elmore. Welcome to the booth.
Good afternoon or evening.
Good evening. You've had an absolutely fantastic season. The championship eluded you at the end, but you've put up such a fight this season. You've taken, Sam Blees, who is a very quick driver, all the way. Obviously, you're going to be disappointed by not winning the championship, but the other half of your head must be saying, I'm over the moon with the gains that I've made this season.
I've been saying all week that Sam will beat me. I mean, I didn't even own the track. As I said last week, I haven't turned a lap. I didn't realise I didn't own it. And then I'm shocked. I only got 1 incident point because even in the practice, I think I had like 10 incident points in 9 laps. Credit to Sam. He's just too quick. I can't keep out of him. But yeah, and my teammates, awesome. We had a little bit of rubbins racing, a little bit of an off, but it made it exciting trying to catch up. You know what I mean? Shane let me pass after he made a mistake, and then obviously, as you saw, Russ let off. Carl can, he can shove his pies where the sun don't shine. Now he ain't getting none. But no, it was a good season. I enjoyed it. I think I out excelled my all expectations. I was aiming for a top 5. So I'll take second all day long.
Well, I know, last couple of seasons, you've been on the chat with us and we've been saying, you need to be racing, and yeah, I to be honest, if somebody would have said to me, where do you think Matt's going to finish this season? I would have said, well, he's definitely got somewhere between 3rd and 5th in him. But to finish second and for it to be like 4 points the difference between you and Sam, that was it. That's 4 off tracks over a 12 race season. That's 1 position that you could have finished higher. It's an absolutely fantastic achievement. What do you put it down to? Is it, you're practicing hard this season? I know we've asked you before, but is that literally it? Is that something that we can tell other drivers? Look at Matt Elmore. Look what he's done this season just by practicing.
Yeah, just putting the laps in. I mean, for me personally, it's also important not just hot lap. I think you need to have people around you and race with people to get the speeds up, because it's all right doing that lap after lap after lap on your own. But for me personally, I mean, racing with Carl, Russ, Shane, everyone that I race with, it just helps me massively. So yeah, that's my key to nearly success.
Well, I think it's been a massive achievement for you this season, mate. I'm really pleased to see you up there. I hope you're going to be back with us next season, whatever we're doing. And
TCR.
let's see if you can take it that extra step, and get that championship in the bag. You know, you've got your teammates around you. I know they did everything they could to get you up there tonight, and I think that all bodes well for the future. So, you know, well done. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go and reflect on what could have been?
I've got to say shout out to my teammates, both Russ and Shane. Obviously, as you see, they both helped me to gain the position each. It can't be easy because you know what I mean. It's one of them. You know for a fact you've got a podium on, and you're just letting someone else pass. But I really appreciate it. I really do. And obviously, shout out to you guys, Sam, for winning the championship. Just too quick this season. I have to see what happens next season.
Excellent. Well, very respectful in defeat, but I personally don't think that was a defeat for you. I think what you've done this season is a big win. So, Matt Elmore, congratulations on your second place in the championship, and hopefully we'll see you next season.
Yeah, cheers for that, lads. Appreciate
Great drive, Matt. Fantastic,
Cheers, mate.
mate. Brilliant stuff.
Okay, so the interview booth is thinning out rather rapidly. So we better bring in our second place GT4 driver, Rob Venn. Welcome to the booth.
Oh,
Yeah, well done, Rob.
So, second place, and people always say, and I'm sure I've said this to you before, you know, well, but if Stefan hadn't have done this and if Stephen hadn't have done that, I always stick two fingers up to that and say I was in the right place at the right time to capitalise on those mistakes. But I think you seriously had some pace tonight. I was very surprised looking 10, 15 minutes into the race and you was still up there with those guys. Is it just a track that you enjoy, or did something else gel tonight that showed that pace?
yeah, yes. I mean, it's a track I enjoy, and I've sort of driven in loads of different stuff. To be honest, the draft was quite powerful. I mean, I was looking at my lap times, and I was sort of lapping. I think 5 laps into the race, I did a lap that was 7/10 quicker than I did in qualifying. So obviously, yeah, there was quite a bit of toe there. But yeah, it's a great track. I need to sort of quite like. I love the second half of it, basically before you hit the straight, and then the bit where you go over the hill, sort of thing, down the other side to the start finish line. But yeah, it was I think if I dropped out the toe at the start, I think it would have been a different race. But yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, and how have you found the beastly Merc this season? Do you think it's been a good addition to the GT4 stable?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's a good addition. I sort of wanted to do a back to back with the Porsche. I do wonder. I think the Porsche's got a smaller fuel tank and that type of thing. So I'm quite intrigued. So whether the fill times have been adjusted for that and that type of thing, because it feels like I don't know if it might be me, to be honest. I tend to lose out over the pit stops because I think it sort of jumped backwards, but I lost to be honest on Stephen a little bit as well. But yeah, I think it's a really good car. I think it's a little bit less oversteery than the Aston, and it can run curbs, which makes it's not as quick as I think on a corner or whatever. I think the Porsche's got more apex speed, but the Merc sort of makes up for it because you can run the curbs a bit more. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think the Porsche's always been. I think there was only one season where they did something very weird to the Porsche, and every other season that's always been the car for the turns. But you've managed to wrestle that Mercedes round to some very good results this season. What do you think has been your highlight this season?
I don't know. I think it's today actually. I think today sort of. Yeah, because I kept with let's say the lead group, the top 3, and to be honest, I mean Stefan's upped his game in the last few races and stuff, hasn't he? And he's now sort of up with Stephen and Simon. But yeah, I think today was probably the highlight. Apart from that at Le Mans, but at Le Mans obviously a different series. But anyway,
yeah. And have you got a low light from this season? Is there one of those races that you thought to yourself, do you know, I wish I'd never turned up for this one?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I only
I
ask
don't
good
know.
questions.
Yeah, I know.
It's me, not Pete. You're
I think,
talking to.
I
Oi,
think, yeah.
oi, oi, oi.
Okay. To be honest, I think it's more the race, maybe the couple of the races I missed, because almost I think by missing those races, it sort of took me out of like a bit of a battle, maybe with in terms of the championship. I didn't have everyone to battle with and stuff like that. I think it might have been it sort of motivates you more, isn't it, if you're in a battle and that type of thing, and if you're building up a championship over like a 10-week season. But yeah, I can't think of anything being sort of particularly bad. I had a few crashes early on, didn't I? I just finished the race at the back, but
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's life, isn't it? It's that happens sometimes, and if you're pushing hard, you almost expect a one race like that. But
Yeah, but overall, I think a positive season for yourself. I agree with what you just said. I would like to see you do the full 12 rounds for a season. You finished 7th overall, but there wasn't a great deal of points. If you stick another couple of races on top of that, you were going to be up there battling for 5th, 4th, around that sort of area. So it'd be interesting to see, where you could actually come in a championship doing a full season. But I'd say congratulations on what you've done. Big congratulations on 2nd place tonight, however it came to you. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
yeah, I mean, thank you to the team and all the guys in Discord and that type of thing, and all the drivers and you guys for setting the championship up and doing all this type of stuff.
Excellent. Well, whatever we're doing next season, we hope you will be with us. Rob Venn.
Thank you.
Well done, Rob.
Okay.
I
Let's
remember giving a
bring
shout
in.
for Rob at the start of the season. Probably cursed him, eh?
What have we called him tonight? The fly in the ointment, the shit on the stick. Carl Hardy, welcome to the booth.
Well, hello.
Hello. I don't even know where we start with all this. We spoke to Sam and we spoke to Matt Elmore, and it was Sam Blees versus 3 others. And then Carl Hardy poked his nose into the mix, and there was all sorts of permutations that could have gone on, and ways for the Spectre 6 guys to manoeuvre Matt into the position he needed to. But Mr. Stubborn Hardy had other ideas and wasn't playing that game, was you?
They're not my teammates, are they? Sodom. No, how much, I mean, Matt's a quality guy, but, I mean, his teammates left it until the last lap. If I'd have seen it, I might have thought about it, but, sod him. Sod him.
Well, no, that's, to be honest, for
Okay.
me, that's a good attitude. It's, I know some drivers are friendlier than others and things like that, and that you could have, I don't know, you could have taken Russell out and helped Matt out. You could have backed out of everything and helped Matt out, but you didn't. You went, all guns blazing. I'm going to see exactly what I can do in this race, and ultimately that gave you another 2nd place. Can't say that you had 3 wins on the trot, unfortunately. You'll have to try again for that one. But all joking aside, first, 2nd in the last 3 races is championship winning form. How can you put together a good start to the season so you're not chasing big gaps from day one? If we go again with this, there's no way that any of us can't mention you as a championship contender next season because what you've done in the last 3 races.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's, we all help each other. I've said this so many times. We all help each other out. We've got, like, so close together now. Sam is the one who we're still chasing, but we're definitely a lot closer to him this season. So yeah, it's just practice. That's all it's down to. And sometimes it's, I mean, it's depending on the tracks. Some tracks suit you. Some tracks you would like all for that. I mean, tonight I've had no practice, because obviously everybody knows I was at Spa. So, I mean, I've jumped on tonight and just I knew I was rubbish at the track in a way. But yeah, I fluked it pretty much.
Pete does that every time he finishes a race. So but in all seriousness, this is going to sound a bit crappy, and it's really not meant to. So,
Don't say it then.
A lot of my weekends at the moment is taken up. I'm gathering all of the historical race results from this series and the V8 series, and first, I don't know, 2 or 3 seasons. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, didn't realise Carl had been there. Didn't realise he'd had so many podiums. But then when I look a bit deeper into it, it was at the start when we started this series off, and there wasn't many drivers and things like
exactly
that.
What it was.
But now you've said yourself, the drivers are all very close together. There are a number of drivers that drive this TCR car that could win a race, any race at any point during the season, and you're getting wins and podiums on race pace rather than lack of opposition. So, you must be dying for us to go, yeah, do you know what, let's go again, let's have another go, because you've got to be a contender, haven't you, if we go again?
We've got to go again. Why are we saying if we go again? We've got to go again.
Yeah
We've got to.
We'll see. But would you, I know you're I'm going to say you're a humble person, and you don't tend to blow
polite.
your own trumpet too much, but would you agree that if we went again, you're going to be a contender next season?
I just do what I do. I turn up, I race. As long as I'm smiling, I don't care. Yes, I've got a chance to win races. Yes, I've got a chance for podiums, and I've also got a chance to go in the tyre wall. So I just take it as it is.
Matt Elmore has proved this season that consistency gets you up there and keeps you in it until
100%.
the last lap of the last race, and the last quarter of this season you have been Mr. Consistency. I might even do some weird graphical thing and work out who was the best driver and scored the most points in different sections of the season, and I can guarantee straight away that the last part of the season it's going to be you. So what I'll do is, if we go again next season, I'll get Sam, Pete and Alan and myself to all say you're going to win the championship, and then you'll have a terrible time.
You twat.
Well, on that note, are there any shout outs you want to give before we let you go from the 9?
Yes, there is. Obviously, you guys, 100% mega league. Always watch the streams back, and they're brilliant to watch, even though I'm mentioned and probably not very nicely. But what you've built here is brilliant. Obviously, Simon for winning GT4s and Sam for the TCR championships this season. Well done to them. And obviously all the result guys, even though there's not many of us turning out at the moment. But, I mean, we're a massive team, in other bits and pieces. So, all of them guys as well, with our young Sir Alan.
Yeah, we might have to take that Sir away from him at some point, because he's spending far too much money at the moment and breaking things on a regular basis.
That's what sirs do. Honestly, I mean,
might have to have a word with Queenie and see if we can revoke that. But anyway, Carl, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've thoroughly enjoyed, Alan voting for you in driver of the season every week, even when you was doing crap. You've
Love you,
deserved
Alan.
it the
I
last
love
few
you,
weeks.
Captain.
So yeah, hopefully we'll go again next season. Hopefully we'll see you back. Hopefully you drag some more of your teammates back into it, and we see your form continue. So
Yeah,
thanks very
brilliant.
much, Carl Hardy.
Yeah, cheers, Clyde. Take care, lads.
Well done, my Captain.
Right, Alan, I've
Mm.
saved him to last just for you because I know there's a bromance going on. So let's bring in the one and only Andy Littler. Welcome to the booth.
Andy!
Hello.
Oh my word! Hey, am I doing the interview? Oh, that's easy. Andy! Oh, great! I'm glad you turned up tonight, matey. And I'm really pleased that you stayed on, and actually finished the race like you always do, because we're finishers, aren't we?
We try.
We like to finish races. We're not quitters. It doesn't matter if we lapse down. We like to finish.
Yes.
And have you enjoyed the series? This this is a big step up for drivers like you and me, isn't it? This is when you come into this arena, it's the big boys, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these guys are just awesome paced. It's just fantastic. But yeah, I've just loved it. Wish I could spend a little bit more time practicing because Mr. Hardy tells me seat time is the crucial thing for this. So,
Yeah,
but,
well, he knows what he's talking about. He's right, but we're busy, aren't we? We have a lot to do.
yeah, I'm usually rushing straight to my seat and diving on and going on. So yeah, just
Well,
happy to be out
you've
there.
done fantastic. I think you can see the way your confidence has grown over the season, Andy. Your car handling and the way you're dealing with the traffic and everything is you've become a lot more confident driver and a lot more capable. Your pace is improving. It's all good stuff, mate, and you're showing yourself well in this. And I love to see you out here racing. I love to see our result guys racing. It's great for me.
Yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed it. You've not let yourself down. You've done well. It's been a long hard season. You've fought hammer and tongue. And let's face it, who else has got a blooming mobile rig that they take to a hotel so they can race no matter what?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just love it. So it keeps me out of a bar as well. That's the other thing, Al.
So what happened tonight? What happened when you lost a lap, didn't you? I didn't see what happened. Well, I don't remember.
It was just pace, Al. Really, I had one or two little mistakes, but generally it was just I was probably 5 seconds a lap down at that point.
Yeah,
I did improve from 2:03s down to I think I got a 2 minutes 6 seconds at 2.2 minutes 0.6 at one point. So I was happy with it.
With you, I'm driven this track a lot, have you? And it's a tough old drive. This place, my God, it's not an easy. It's not an easy track, is it?
No, the only time was the UK Sim in the MX5 when we did it 2 seasons ago.
Right, it's a while ago, isn't it? And a different car as well. This is a different drive in the TCR.
Yeah.
The cameras are like hairy, aren't they? Coming down that, watching you go down the hill. Well, you didn't go off at the hairpin. My God, it hit some cars tonight.
Yeah. Well, I actually found Carl a bit of time there. I discovered that you could do it in second and come out a lot quicker. So I passed that on to him, and I think he applied it then. So yeah.
Teamwork.
Yep,
Well, it was
absolutely.
a fantastic race tonight. Honestly, we didn't know how it was going to end right till the end. It was edge of the seat stuff.
I kept getting behind little battles that were going on. It was good watching it from the rear there. Yeah.
No, it's
So
great to be on the
these
same
guys,
track.
yeah, just awesome, aren't they?
Yeah, they're fast. But that's how this is where we are, and we start at the back, and we keep trying. And look at the way you've come up on the MX5s. I expect you'll do the same here, and it's a joyful thing, and we do it for the love of it, and that's right as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks for your presence this season. I hope you're coming. I don't know what's good. I don't know what's happening in the future with the series or not, but I do hope you'll turn up again if we go again. And would you like to give any shout outs, matey?
Well, obviously, a massive thanks to everybody at Results, yourself and Carl, and all the guys that give me advice, and the Backfire guys for putting everything on and the fantastic broadcast, and yourself, Alan. You've turned into a top commentator. So,
I'm a terrible commentator who's carried
You're
by
not.
his friends, but
No, you're not.
but I'm comfortable enough sitting here with these people having a chat. That's true
Absolutely.
enough.
Amongst
You just
amongst
poke
friends.
him with a
Yes.
stick every now and again.
Yeah. As long as it's not one of his knives, we'll be all right.
Well, there is that, yeah.
Well, that's lovely, Andy, and I'll see you on Monday.
Yes, Alan.
If
Okay,
I can
take
get
care,
if I
everybody.
can get my pedals going, mate.
Well, hopefully. Yeah.
Keep fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks
Bye,
very much,
bye.
everybody. Cheers.
Bye bye.
Right.
Right, guys. So the interviews are done. The championships, most of the championships are decided by the drivers on the track, apart from the most important one. And that is driver of the meeting, which tonight will also lead to driver of the season. So, I'm going to go to Mr. Bingham first because he hasn't been with us much this season. Let's put him on the spot. And you're going to have to do this with your angry Belgian head on, obviously.
Yeah. Got to
So,
channel an angry Belgian with Belgian fries, also known as
yeah,
French fries.
one from each class. Who impressed you the most tonight?
I'm gonna go GT4. I think I have to vote for teammate Rob Venn. I
Okay.
don't think he's had a position that high this season. I think he was very calm. Yes, people decided to eject themselves out of the running in front of him, but he held his nerve. He's finished in a very strong place. He's not been massively behind Simon Trundle, really, given the finishing order. And I think he's done a very stand-up job on this particular racetrack. He's been very successful tonight.
Okay, and TCR.
I think consistency and a rise to a consistent form is definitely worth celebrating. And given the pressure surrounding Carl Hardy and the people he was racing with tonight, he could have easily succumbed to the pressure of I need to get away from this battle because it's season defining. He raced his own race. He stayed in it. He didn't let anybody intimidate him, and he's doing extraordinarily well anyway. But on race performance tonight, Cal Hardy is my man for my vote.
Excellent. So, Alan, let's go to you. And let's start with GT4, please, and your driver of the evening.
Oh, it's so difficult. I want to give it to them all, but I'm not allowed to do that. So this is really tricky because, it was those guys at the front tonight. It was a nerve-wracking race, wasn't it? And we didn't know what was going. So if it was nerve-wracking for us in the booth, heaven knows what it was like for them. And it's Stefan was very unlucky, but he's been fantastic these last few races, and I feel he was unlucky tonight, and he still plugged in and made his position back. So I'm going to give it to Stefan.
Okie dokie. So vote for Stefan and your TCR driver of the evening.
Well, so many yet again, but I'm going to give it to my captain because he was second on an amazing run and all the things that everybody said. He drove the right way, the way he should have driven. He drove the race. He didn't drive the drivers, and he's become a much better driver this season. He's got incredible consistency. He's put all the work in, I'm thrilled that he's getting these results, and he's got my vote.
Okay, so hold the front page. We've got a shock. Alan has voted for Carl. We've had 12 races this season, and Alan has voted for Carl 16 times.
Only
So
16. Oh, sugar.
that just leaves me. So GT4, you know, I do try not to vote for the winners. I think Simon Trendle had an absolutely fantastic race tonight. I think I'm going to have to agree with Pete, if I'm honest. I do like to see a driver right up the top there that it's a bit unfair with Rob saying that we don't usually see him up there, because we do know that Rob, when the application is right, the track is right, and he's had the time to practice, he is a quick driver. But I've had some of my best results through other drivers falling off the track, doing something silly, whatever has happened. But because I've managed to keep it on the tarmac, I've had a decent finish. So, yes, I am going to agree with Pete and give my GT4 vote to Rob Venn. And it pains me that all three of us have agreed tonight. I think for me, it was a real big toss up between Sam Blees and Carl Hardy. I think Sam drove an absolutely perfect race and did exactly what he needed to do to give himself the best chance to win the championship. But I think from a totally different perspective, I think Carl really impressed me with the fact that, as one of you guys just said, he could have just backed right out of that and gone, do you know what? I'm not in this championship fight. It's Sam versus Spectre 6. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want anything controversial to happen. I don't want to get blamed for ruining somebody's chance of winning the championship. But he didn't do any of that. He went as fast as he could for as long as he could. And ultimately, he was the proverbial fly in the ointment that stopped the Spectre 6 guys, shall we say, fabricating a result by being able to do multiple multi-21s. So, yeah, I'm going to totally agree with you guys and give it to Carl. So, what we need to do now is I quickly need to go through our champions. So GT4 finished. Simon Trendle is our champion with 753 points. Stephen Walker was second with 676, and Stefan Goebel, a very impressive third place with 623. In TCR, as we've already spoken about, Sam Blees by 4 points won the TCR Championship, 709 points. Second, unlucky second, but also fantastic second for Matt Blees with, Matt Blees, I'm
That's
doing
one
a
of my
bill here,
jobs.
aren't I?
Yeah.
Matt Elmore 705, and Carl Hardy, especially with those three fantastic results in the last three races, third on 662. The team standings, Team Chimera, really good results from Jamie and Simon tonight. They took away the championship with 1345 points. Spectre 6 TCR second with 1332, and Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Black with 1039. Driver of the season, that has been close all season, but Carl Hardy has got his way to the top with those three votes tonight. He finishes with 11 votes for the season. Stefan Goebel second with 10 votes, and Matt Elmore in third with 9 votes. And then head to head, Third place in TCR, there was no David Ayres, so that goes to Russell Cowell. Second place in TCR goes to JB Dejoux. And the winner of the TCR head-to-head is Matt Elmore. So he has got his name on a trophy tonight after all. Third place in GT4 goes to Jamie Wilson. Second place in GT4 goes to Stephen Walker, and a third trophy tonight for our first place GT4 driver, Simon Trendle. So that is all the results, guys. It's been an absolutely fantastic season. It's been a pleasure working alongside Alan again, and Sam. I have absolutely no idea where Sam is tonight. I think he's selling donut holes or something like that somewhere. I have no idea. But Pete has been a fantastic stand-in. It's been absolutely fantastic. All the chat that we've had, all the feedback we've had about the league, it's been really good. Obviously, we can't do this without the drivers. It's the drivers that put on the show week in, week out, and get the viewers watching it and talking about it. So big thank you to them as well. Alan, any last words before we close out this season?
Oh, crikey. Well, it's gone very quickly, is what I can say. And it's my first full season in the booth. It could well be the last, because let's face it, I'm on the verge of unemployment, clearly.
The redundancy looms.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure to be here with you all. And I feel very comfortable and happy in my little corner here. So, and the racing's been tremendous. I would have been watching the racing anyway. It's I love these races. I love the quality of the driving. I love the camaraderie and the respect that they have. I see this in other leagues, but it's not always evident. And it's to the credit of all the drivers that they drive so in such a professional, in such a gentlemanly and honourable way. I love to see honourable races, and I've never seen so many people give black places like they do here, and people give back places when it costs, when it hurts to do it. So that's the real test, isn't it? Well done to Simon for keeping me incredibly entertained. Great for Sam, because he did everything right tonight. I feel for Matt, and I'm delighted for Carl. Brilliant.
And Pete, obviously, you're normally a driver in this series. You have been our standing cameraman when needed. What have you made of season 9? From outside of the car. I know you enjoy it when you're in the car, but what about out of the car?
It's been a very nail-biting season, to be honest. There's been a lot of to and froing. It'll be good to get the numbers up for next season if we have one. We know that there's some very strong caliber. You look at the I ratings that we've got now, and you can actually see that individuals who started with average I ratings are now in the 3K mark, the 2.5K mark, etc. This series has helped people drive these cars, get their racecraft sorted, get pace in the car, learn from one another, and learn how to race in packs, and that leads to success in official races. I think it's a very healthy league. I do want to rejoin it. Obviously, I've got certain things going on, which means I'm unlikely to for the next season, but the season after I would like to, if we continue with it. It's very much a drama season. This one for TCR rather, has gone right to the wire in a very exciting and nail-biting finish. And we've had that before multiple times. I think it's a very healthy league, and others could join it and benefit from it.
Excellent. Well, in that case, it's time for us to close the broadcast, close the season. We've already said our thank yous, so I shall say goodnight. Let the guys say goodnight, and we'll close the broadcast. And then at some point we will get our collective heads together and decide what we're doing with the series. So thanks for watching, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks. It's been very exciting and a joyful thing to be able to be here and share this with you. See you next season or not. Best wishes.
Yeah, I'll echo that. Thank you to everybody that watched and all the drivers that took part. And we'll see you next time round if we run this season again. Take care, everybody, and good night.